Hey everyone, so this is going to be our plant cell lab where we're looking at something called Elodea. And Elodea is a type of water plant that lives in the water, so an aquatic plant. So I have some in this container right here. So it's a plant that lives on the top of the water. It looks like this. Looks better when it's in the water. It's a little bit more fluffy looking. So we're going to be using this Elodea today to go ahead and look at another type of plant cell. So the first plant cell that we looked at were onion cells. Now we're going to look at these Elodea cells. Okay, so to make an Elodea cell, what we're going to do is I'm just going to use my tweezers and I'm going to take one of these little leaves off of here. So there's a whole bunch of leaves. We're just going to take one off of, well, I got two, I guess, but I'm just going to take an Elodea leaf. And let's set that off to the side. And then I'm going to put that leaf on our microscope slide. Okay. And when we made our other slides, we had to put iodine on there so that it would give it some color. But since these leaves already have color to them, we don't have to add any iodine to them. So I'm going to put a little bit of water on there because it makes it a little bit easier to go ahead and look at these cells. And then we'll put the cover slip on top, just like we did for the other slides. And now my slide is ready to go to look at Elodea cells. We're looking at our Elodea cells on low power right now. And just like with our onion cells, we can see that there are a lot of individual bricks here as well. And the creepy thing is you can actually see some things moving around, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit and zoom in on some of these cells. So this is on low power right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to medium power, and we'll get this all focused in here. Okay, so this is on medium power right here. I'm going to adjust the brightness just a little bit so hopefully we can see things really clearly. All right, and so we can start to see some boundaries of these cells again. So it's not these really dark ones. Those are actually some different veins that are running through the leaf itself. But it's going to be these smaller bricks that we see within there. There's these smaller bricks that exist in all of these, and you can kind of see one up here. Maybe I'll fine tune it a little bit and see if we can really get those boundaries in there nice and clear. All right, so these little boundaries, these little bricks here, that's going to be, each one of those is going to be one cell. So we're going to try to maybe move this a little bit so we can get a good cell in there. We're getting up close with one of these cells. All right, so that is going to be a really good one right here. We're going to try to get it as clear and focused as we possibly can. All right, so we are going to focus on this cell right here, this brick right here as we go to high power. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and switch to high power now. We're going to adjust that brightness a little bit. It always gets a little different once you go all the way up to high power. All right, and there we go. So getting this on high power, and we'll move it around so we can really see the boundaries of a cell a little bit. It's tricky when you're trying to move it when you're this zoomed in, because every little movement is huge for the cell, or for the slide, excuse me. Okay, so then if we're looking, you can see this boundary right here. This is going to be the edge of the cell. And you can see all these little green discs that are floating and moving around. And those little green discs are actually the chloroplasts. So you can see the chloroplasts in this cell, and you can see them moving around. So the challenge when we're looking at Elodea cells through a microscope is the nucleus can sometimes be really difficult to see because it doesn't have its own distinct color. All of this green stuff is just going to be those chloroplasts that are swimming around. So that nucleus can be really tricky sometimes to see. So if we look around a little bit, this one you can kind of see it a little bit in there. But if you look at this one and the boundary is right here and all those green discs that are the chloroplasts, there's kind of this mass that's underneath here, and this is going to be where the nucleus is in this cell. Again, it's kind of difficult to see, but this is going to be where that nucleus is. And as you guys can see, these cells are living. This is a living thing. It's got stuff moving within the cell. You can even see individual different things happening inside the cell as things are moving around and it's sending information from one place to another. So it's a real live actual cell that's going about doing its job still, taking in that light energy from the microscope.